Fraxis. Here they are. I'll need to read them to you guys. It's going to be Battlefield of Eternity. So no tricks coming out here for Mighty. Not going to take us to
No
StarCraft land.
maps.
Not yet.
Not today. L5 showed some incredible games on both StarCraft maps against Black.
I'm telling you right now, Western teams, if you're watching HGC Korea for prep, if you're out there, if you're hearing me, know that L5 will play Warhead Junction against you.
That's scary.
They will do it. And if you're not ready, you will lose. Even if you are ready, you'll probably lose to L5, but we'll see.
Shots fired there, but we'll see. We're going into Battles of Eternity. Let's see if BlossoM has a very strong... They tend to have theme all the time. They never lose their theme of going in. Let's see if they can bring it again in this Battlefield of Eternity.
Here we go. We haven't cast this one in a little while. Saw it once yesterday. And it feels like it's been a less popular map on the Genji patch, or rather with Genji available. So we were on the Genji patch last week too, but now he's usable as a 100% pick rate in HGC Korea. So Zeratul hovered here. And he will be locked in. I think BlossoM wants to take the first pick Genji. Oh, the first Genji ban. We haven't seen that yet. No Genji this time. Keeps his 100% involvement, but he will not be in the game.
That's right. And BlossoM will have to go back to their normal, but now Vala is open. But they can only take one out of the two. No Ario pair or Zarya, which No Chat would love to be on.
I think you might just want to take Malfurion here, to be honest. We'll leave BlossoM, though, with Valarial, which is always scary. They're really giving some consideration to this one. I feel like if you... Oh, I'm just going to grab it anyways. If you grab the Vala, Mighty can't really take the Ariel away from you here. That's one of the reasons why first pick is so strong, because Ariel pairs specifically with two heroes very well, Vala and Gul'dan. This is not a map where Gul'dan can really see play, so there's no way to steal it and pair it with something else. So BlossoM will now get the Ariel if they want it. Muradin and Li Ming. Li Ming, obviously this is her map. This is the map where she's strongest because of her poke on the Immortals. Not highly prioritized on any other battleground. They could go all in on the Vala comp. It'd be very MVP Miracle-esque, but other options are to branch out here a little bit and see what Mighty bans, test the waters of what they're afraid of. Judy looks real stressed out in the camera shot.
If they want to go all in, they can bring in Zarya and Tastar. We haven't seen Tastar for a long time since his Qs. The shields got a little bit nerfs every single patch. And Tastar went down from the draft. Just goes through the draft. Let's see if they want to go all in Vala with Ario even.
Malfurion coming in with the ETC. So they just don't want to all in this, which I can really respect. Don't forget, ETC is not going to be as strong on this map with the Rockstar passive as he once was. Mighty. It's a tough ban here. You ban a Tassadar? I don't think so. Kind of stuck in this position where you have to predict, will BlossoM go all in on this?
I think banning Zarya is not a bad choice here, as
it's a No Chat we're talking about.
I don't think we see a No Chat hero yet. So, and it's not likely going to be on Falstad anyhow, so just go ahead and ban Zarya instead.
I wonder if they'll consider the Tyrael ban here too, because that would be an amazing source of protection for Vala and ETC's Mosh Pit. Tychus instead.
They will lock down some auto attacks.
This ban is going to tell us a lot about what BlossoM wants to run next. If they ban the Hammer, for example, then they're probably going to go down the path of solo Vala. If they look to ban a support, that won't really tell us as much. It looks like it's going to be the Uther ban, which means they're a little bit afraid of potentially Greymane coming out, which is the other big ban that we could look at potentially.
Tyrael is still available for Mighty, and they can still pick it up, and there we go.
So rather than ban it, they take it themselves with the hammer. So BlossoM, will they commit to no chat Zarya here?
That will, of course,
feels
give
strong.
a little more protection onto ETC also if ETC is going to be the only one standing in the front line along with Zarya. Also gives a little bit more protection onto Vala whenever it is needed. Sometimes we even saw multi-shot coming out from Vala's build on this map to not even going for the Q build to race on that Immortal, but for the team fight especially. And compared to that, Mighty has been building very balanced standard drafts for themselves. Burden, Living, Tyrael, Hammer.
I wonder if this is going to be the real question that we're waiting to answer is if this is not going to be solo DPS Vala, who is going to be the second? There's not a lot of options available with the Tychus ban. Volstad is going to be the way, so that's how they're going to play this. Zartanis for the amateur opponent, race potential. Volstad for ability to help split push. And the Gust. This is a pretty solid draft overall. It took a bit of a twist in the middle as we didn't know if Vala was going to be the solo DPS, which is rare on this map. It's more common to see it on Infernal Shrines, but we have seen teams try it, like Miracle, as I was talking about before. This is likely just going to be a Karazim 5th pick for Mighty. Yep. I mean, he's just so good with the extra damage. Remember when Karazim didn't take Iron Fist? Remember when that was like, I was like, Iron Fist, yeah, DPS Karazim wall? I forgot that he has other talents. Okay, well, this is going to be the drafts we're stuck with here for game number 3. I didn't mean to put that spin on it. I like these drafts. There's nothing wrong with them, G-Club. These are the drafts we've got. I like the race potential for BlossoM. Mighty has the better all-around comp for Poke. As we go into this map, Mighty 1 win away from taking this best of 5 as we go into Battlefield of Eternity for game number 4. In blue, it is Team BlossoM. Scarlet on Malfurion. Dudu on Vala. Wiz on Artanis. Judy on ETC. And No Chat on Volstad.
And in red, Mighty. Joker on Muradin. Sands on Tyrael. Magi on Sergeant Hammer. Nasang on Karazim. And SDE on Leeming. Wow, Q Vala and amateur opponent Artanis. And, and the Q build from Volstad. They're going all in with this race. BlossoM is going crazy. They want the burst damage coming out.
It's really interesting they go to the Q build. That's going to give Volstad overall less damage on the Immortal, but can help him burst down targets like the Sergeant Hammer when Sergeant Hammer is just sitting there doing the damage.
Of course, you would expect a little bit mix.
Yeah.
Half and half maybe. Artanis going for the amateur opponent, maybe multi-shot, just standard build coming out from Vala for the team fight. And maybe not Seasoned Marksman, but still going for the auto attack later on for Volstad. Maybe it's going to be hybrid for every one of them, who knows. Let's see. Let's go. Let's just...
Let's wait and see, yeah.
Yeah, wait and see.
Force Armor coming out for Leeming, which is not always what we see on this map, but against the Mage Volstad, it's going to be very helpful. Get rid of that scouting drone. Get it out of there.
Of course, there's no stealth for Mighty's side, but still.
It's actually still very important in terms of vision to set up skill shots and things like that. Vision is always important.
Root and Root connected. I believe he was away from the range of the dash because of that face melt at the last second.
Yep.
Great cover by BlossoM there.
Oh, Nasang did a vanishing trick there, and he was there, and then he was gone. Almost the counter kill on the Volstad. Not enough damage. So here comes the first Immortal phase. This is going to be incredibly good for BlossoM to get another pick here. Not going to happen. But had they gotten another pick, it would have been won by them for sure with all the tools they have that you were talking about. Mighty is looking to actually win fights before the Immortal phase to win by poking. Oh, they wanted that pick so bad. Here's the Volstad flight. They want this. Going to pick up a few more stacks there. Should be 2 for No Chat. As Wiz is already starting to wail away on this Immortal with his amateur opponent. Got 2 different color side blades. That's a cool skin.
That's even cooler than what I've seen so far.
I don't know if I've seen this skin before. I really like it. It'd be cool if his side blades were like different colors for which talents he picked. That'd be complicated.
That would be complicated too. And Falstad will be onto the defense, and also for the extra soak, having that global presence, just like how MVP Black runs with Sake all the time.
Ooh, Judy, went for the power slide there. She nearly got stunned by the Immortal. So this is actually a defensive setup here for Mighty. It's not very strong with the composition they have. They're just trying to poke on the defense, but BlossoM has so much racing power. I don't think they should be playing this like this.
There's a swap onto Magi, but Root was a little bit late to follow up. There's a stun onto Wiz. It's very low, gets taken out. There's a reset onto Li Ming.
They do force this to eventually be a better trade for them, or rather not even a better trade, but multiple kills. Nearly the multiple kills. Caster Curse, man. I spoke those words, ETC lived. So now they have the advantage, and they're going to catch up in Immortal Health. In fact, going to even it up and even take a lead. As everyone for BlossoM either respawned or went back to tap. So let's see. They're just going to give this up. Try to take out as many shields as they can, but Mighty will win this. Very tight. I mean, look at the mana of Joker and Asong, SDE. I mean, that was a close call.
Ooh, Sands gets swapped. It's going to be killed. Ooh, very nice.
Just like you and me, man. We speak the words and they live. Every time.
Every time.
Every time.
Every time, every other time, yes. And the full Q build, of course, coming out from Vala. She's going to get to stacks. Started to stack. Dudu, of course, known for his Vala play since last year. Let's see how well he brings his.
Everyone make a wish, because Joker missed a Storm Bolt. See more shooting stars and you see that. Look at that, another hit one right there. So this Immortal gets the key, or the fort wall and a lot of the ammo, but BlossoM still keeps a pretty tight position in terms of EXP with Falstad split soaking in the top there. Magi is chain stunned here. He's very low. Artas is looking for the kill. Dudu actually survives. They both live. And it's going to be a pretty impressive even exchange. Joker gets caught though. Down he falls.
Yeah, I like that you said down he falls after he falls down, just to make sure he dies for sure. No more
there
curse.
he goes.
Just to block the curse, you know?
Well, that was a good swap.
It was just right after the Dwarf Toss too, so Joker, I believe, Toss was on cooldown, so he could not escape. He had enough mana for sure.
So just looking at the builds of both teams, everything is pretty normal. Big spike for Falstad at 7 for ability to split push stronger and also to do a lot more damage in team fights. This build is really almost completely gone. I think part of the reason why is Falstad's been used as more of a split pushing hero in recent times, but also the ability to dodge the Qs, the hammerings, just much improved over the past few years. Like, you see Falstad, and when he tosses out that Q, everyone just gets out of the way, and it's like, ooh, if I was just right-clicking on people, I can't miss that. It's probably better. Especially against a Tyrael comp, I'm a little bit surprised they go with this on this map even.
Tyrael has been really pressuring the lane against the Falstad. Entire time they're trying to punish for it.
Oh, make another wish.
That was a big miss.
That was a big miss. Okay, like if you tell people the wish you make on that one, it'll still come true. That's how big that was.
Wiz tried to make a swap, but now decided to at the last second as SD just teleported away.
Yeah, this is a good position for Mighty in terms of poke. They don't want to overextend.
They don't want to overextend because the entire comp of BlossoM right now is for the dive.
Yeah, exactly. So you get swapped just because you want to poke that one extra shot, you were going to die. But this is where, in this neutral game, where you kind of just poke and play defensively, Ballstat becomes more valuable because of his split pushing.
Also, now they have Malfurion. They have the sustain of healing. They can just go around, take aggro, and get back killed with that Malfurion on your back line.
And even though Tyrael is down in the bot lane, he has to deal with that camp. So that was already cleared by BlossoM. Going to commit in here in this 4v4 fight.
It's a great spot, but no CC follow.
Dudu.
Actually, Dudu gets very low because of his positioning coming out from the side.
Scarlet is way out of position too. On the wrong side of that team fight, Wiz is going to go for a little bit more damage before he goes down, and this is just resets galore for SDE. ETC is just trying to do what he can to
They will barely
slow
get
this
half
down.
because Living is out of mana.
Yep.
Seems like they will just retreat and come back for the later fight. As they're about to hit 10, they want to hit 10 first and then make sure
Yeah, they have a lead.
they try to win the fight. Even with that Immortal, I don't think BlossoM will even try to contest before they hit 10.
They have a lead, and they're not too far behind in EXP because of the false stat split soaking, but there's no way they could fight this without 10. I believe halftime already happened, right? Yeah. No, actually
No,
it's not.
It's
Okay.
about to, yes.
So, sorry, I just can't tell midpoints on the screen. So this actually gives them the opportunity to contest, in fact. They are going to have their heroics now. It's going to be BFG for Magi. Here's the Gust. Try to buy some time. It's going to be pretty close. The blind as well. That was the BFG for the kill, I guess. They got it.
They got it, but they used a lot, even Strafe coming out from Vala now. Q-build Strafe seems to be the way, more popular Vala way in this battleground for KR especially.
Yeah, for Korea, anyways.
If you go with the Q-Vala, you kind of lack that sustained damage over time. You really have to fill that up with a Strafe. Of course, one CC will cancel the entire Strafe, so you have to be careful a little bit more.
So that situation was almost too funny with the BFG coming out. They don't have that damage now for the end of the world, but this is only going to get a fort. It's not even that shielded. Fort actually, oh, I guess he just, with his dying breath, sneezed on it and died.
Seven-sided barely misses. Judy was right onto the borderline of that seven-sided.
Every time I say something happens, it just doesn't happen. Like, I don't know. I mean, it literally lived and he was dead, but it died afterwards. What happened? Okay. I'm having fun today, G-Club.
Just as well as the players also. Sans. I like the play of Sans coming out. He's really, even if he's not on Dehaka, he's been kind of following the global stuff coming out from BlossoM all the time, especially when they have Falstad or some other global heroes to deal with the macro. He's always been on the side, cleaning up the lanes, trying to have that pressure back to the opponent.
He has a good mind for that. That's a type of play that you would expect to see from, like, Magi all the time, right? That's why you see this matchup between Magi and Sans. They both are from this background in their hero's career of playing the split pusher. And even on the Tyrael, the solo laner here, knows just when to come in and when to actually put pressure on No Chat here. Actually going to flip over the wall, just harassing him non-stop.
Harassing means Falstad has to go back home. Tyrael actually has a pretty decent wave clear with that shield onto the minions too. But Falstad seems like it's having a hard time, even harder time with that camp push now. Mighty just hit 13 before BlossoM. That's the time they want to go in. Lots of damage. Also did the BD. BFG, not enough damage. There's a power slide. There's a safety. Is the wave of force going to come in with the teleport? Is that going to be enough?
Not enough. That was a razor-thin survive, though, by Vala.
A great save from Judy. That power slide, I think, literally saved Vala. She was very low.
I was scared to say she was going to live because I thought she might die. Sans Aldruin's away. Dudu's going to pop the strafe. Does have that Malfurion heal, but it's not enough.
Not enough, didn't.
This is really important, actually. If Mighty gets another pick here, they're going to have a great first half on this Immortal phase. Even without it, this forces everyone back. No Chat's actually just going to go for the split soak in the bot lane. Yeah, this is a huge opportunity now for Mighty. Moggy's not even going to siege up. Just want to get as much as they can and get ready to set up for the next phase.
Mighty has so much burst damage that BlossoM cannot hold it with ETC alone in the front line. They have a lot of damage with Falstad, Vala, and Artanis, but
yeah, and we see so much BFG against Vala in this meta because Vala is so squishy. Falstad's so squishy in this situation with the double DPS that you just want that extra burst to wipe the DPS out of the fight and win the longer fight yourself with your more sustained leaving poke. Get those resets. If you get the burst and you get the first reset, you come in to Calamity kills, things get nasty. So SD is hoping that Moggy will give him in terms of opportunity right now. Okay, here's the push. Pretty heavily shielded, and with a lot of sieging power with Sergeant Hammer and Li Ming. BlossoM on even talent tiers, even on even levels, trying to find a way to contest this. Joker's coming in for the flank. Just so much protection. BlossoM's going to let this go for free.
Giving up this fort for a fort. Of course, Falstad will have a slower time pushing this, but I don't think this can go all the way into the keep. So Falstad will split soak the entire time.
I'm worried about this, though. He will have to eventually engage, I think. I think this could do some serious damage to the keep. Just considering all the poke that Mighty has. The Sergeant Hammer pick doesn't have napalm, but still, even without it, I think this actually is a keep kill. BFG comes out early to help Zone to secure the keep, and there they will get it. Falstad comes in just a little bit too late. He's here now, but the keep isn't, so look to potentially fly around for the Gust engage. His teammates tell him not to. He stays back. That was a huge win for Mighty. Yeah, a fort for a fort is a good trade, but a keep for almost a keep wall, that is not. That's a ripoff.
I think Falstad barely came home right after he got the fort. I think it took a while for him to come back. So I think that really could not keep them to keep onto BlossoM's side.
If he comes in for the fight before the keep is down, has a good gust, could turn the entire fight around where you suddenly have some members Mighty between a keep and a core. Okay, Mighty is actually on the wrong side of the map here. We see 7th side strike come in. Decent amount of damage. There's the pulse, the blind. Gust used defensively now. Dudu taking a lot of damage. The BFG's up now. There he goes! Perfect shot!
Sniped onto Vala. There's that ice block, and they're just out of position. ET Judy will just find himself dead.
Every interrupt in the game interrupts that mosh pit. to use a wave of force. Well, I guess he did. Just reset on the cooldown to be using the UI to try to cast. This may just be game. The fort was down a long time ago rather than the keep. See a nice swap on the Moggy, but Sanctification's going to protect him. Not going to have it to use on the core, but with 3 dead, I don't think they'll need it. Even the Goatmen have something to say about this one. Going to help push this at safe range, as Scarlet is not going to be able to do anything about this one. SDE is trying to get the pick onto No Chat. They do get the kill onto Muradin, but it's not going to matter. It's too little too late. This isn't a Caleris core we're casting. Mighty will take their last best of 5, 3-1. Very well played. I think Genji denial ban there. Drafted to a solid poke comp for the map. And it was really the accuracy of Moggy's BFGs that won them the game oftentimes. Vala completely removed from the fight. Even when she survived, when she went down low, that fight was over. They had to leave and retreat. Couldn't really dive on with the Sanctification. Used defensively. I think they got outdrafted. They had the tools to win the race, but when they were losing every team fight before the race started, it just didn't matter.
I think they kind of outdrafted themselves. We were talking about Zarya the entire time, and they really wanted to go heavy on that race, but Mighty knowing that they wanted to fight instead, and that's the way you win the fight, win the game. Mighty bringing that burst damage. Really, BlossoM didn't have much of a protection on any of their targets. ETC also very, not really as squishy as Vala, but one of the squishier warrior in the front line. So picking 7-sided, and Mighty had the burst damage with them, as you said, BFG. is the way to pick off Vala every time,
Yeah.
single time.
And the aim was good. Like I know that like the Korean commentators were probably popping off on that one too, but I saw the hammer's not the hammer is not on screen. But I'm watching the cooldown. It's like 3, 2, 1, and boom, rocket goes right in the perfect spot there. That's the snipe. And usually in Napalm, especially on this map, you want it because you want to have the extra poke on the Immortal, give you the sieging power when the Immortal's up. But when you're looking at bursting down Avala to just completely remove the damage from her, remove her as a factor, then the BFG here is a great choice if you can hit it consistently, as we saw Magi do.
Yeah, that's right. And what we have just saw from Mighty, I think they have a very good chance of going up on the playoff. I think they can go all the way up to Black and try to contest it. They were, of course, caught by surprise by that double support Lily and Uther Genji coming out from BlossoM's side. But without that, they had that theme they really wanted. They really executed how they wanted in the game, and maybe if they are able to beat Tempest, maybe they can challenge the second place and go to the Mission Brawl for the first time.
Yeah, the big story is whether they could beat Tempest or not. They did last time, and we'll see if they could do it again. Tempest will be playing later on tonight, by the way. But before we go into that match, we are, of course, going to have an interview with our quote-unquote MVP. It's going to be Magi.
자, 마이티의 마기 선수와 인터뷰를 나눠보도록 하겠습니다. 오늘
Is Magi
진심으로
on the
축하드리겠습니다.
MVP seat?
네, 또 마지막에 크고 아름다운 미사일로
That BFG
적들을
at the end.
파괴시킨 다음에 지금 바로 엘리베이터 타고 올라오신 거잖아요.
네.
네, 기분이 좀 어떠십니까?
원래
feel after you win today?
안 쓰려고 했었는데 나상형이 한번 발라를 녹여보자고
오.
써보자고
We were actually
해가지고
going.
즉석으로 찍어서 좋은
We were actually
결과
not thinking of
내게 돼서
BFG,
기분이 좋아요.
but Nasang
네,
actually
확실히 성공적이었었고요.
recommended me to
그래도 한
pick
가지 좀,
BFG instead to
팬의 입장에서 아쉬웠던 게
get
하나
a kill
있습니다.
on Vala especially.
무엇이냐?
네.
겐지 팬.
Good
겐지를 보고
choice.
싶은 마음이 좀 있었기
아까 그
때문에.
얘기 되게 많이 하셨어요.
어제 대회를 봐서
After
승률이
watching
안 좋길래
네.
그 성능이 안 좋은 줄 알았는데
after
아니에요?
watching Genji
두 번째
Van,
경기 때 한번 당하고
after
나서
watching
예.
Genji
겐지가
losing a
좀
lot of the
많이
time just
세구나.
from yesterday's
느끼고
matches,
실제로요?
바로
이
썼어요.
방송 많은 분들이 보시기 때문에
and then we didn't see we thought Genji was not really too strong right now.
제가 볼 때는 좋은 것 같아요. 아직 카운터 픽 이런 게 대처가 잘 안
But I
되는
think
것 같기도
Genji is
하고
pretty strong. There's not much of a solid
오늘
counter picks
경기에서는 좋게 느껴졌어요.
yet. And from today's matches, I thought Genji was
나중에
pretty
또
viable.
연구를 해보면은 또
네.
이거 막을 방법이 생길 것 같은데
저희 싫어하는 거
I
아니죠?
think with more practices and
왜
with
이렇게
more
도망가는 거예요?
experiences, I think
저희
you
쪽으로
can
좀 와주시면
have
안
a
돼요?
solution.
알겠습니다.
You can really find the solution against
실제로
Genji,
보니까
but just
무섭나요?
not
그렇진
yet.
않죠?
네.
저도 그렇죠. 안 무섭죠?
네.
네. 오늘 그 제가 이제 해머 상사 할 때마다
네.
제가 굉장히 좀 뛰어난 것 같다.
네.
그래서 막
And every time you're
딜교환이
on
좋다, 막
Sergeant Hammer
자신감 넘치다 이런
especially,
얘기 좀
you
많이
have been
했었는데
playing
해머
solidly
상사를
with such great
특히 좀
positioning.
자주 다루는 이유 같은 게 있나요?
Is there a special reason why you pick
저희
Sergeant Hammer a
팀에서
little bit more?
해머 상사 결과가 좋아서 많이 쓰는 것 같아요.
I think
아,
we
스타크래프트
have a better
때문에
result with
아니요,
Sergeant Hammer
프로토스.
oftentimes.
실망이네요.
이럴 때 테란이라고 해줘야죠. 형이 뭐 그렇게 하면은. 자,
Yes, the
오늘
Marine
이제
was
저희
a
하반기 이제 정규 리그
Pro gamer of
마지막
StarCraft, he was
승리도
asking,
거두게
what's your
되셨는데
favorite
오늘
race on
어떠세요?
StarCraft? And
그냥 인터뷰 같은 거를
What did he say?
지금
He didn't really say
비교하면서
anything.
오랫동안
That's what I
해봤는데
thought. I was like, I might have missed it, but I don't think he said anything
he was
there.
supposed to say Terran, but
근데 굉장히 말을 잘해요. 아주 조리 있게 상당히 좀 잘한다는 좀 인상이 생겨서 가끔씩 저희 뭐 할 때 초대돼서 같이 중계를 해도 될 정도로
아 그래요?
예. 말좀
Magi seems to be having
앞으로도 자주
a very
만났으면
fun
좋겠습니다.
time in the interview.
제가 좀 더 잘해서
He better.
보도록 할게요.
He better,
자,
yes.
그러면 이제
And better be during the playoff
이제
too.
올라가게 된다면은 미드 시즌
And of course,
메디까지 하실 수 있을 것 같아요. 가능하실
if
것
you
같아요, 진출?
if you go to the Mission Brawl, how far do you think you can
중위권
go?
싸움이 그날 선수들 컨디션에 따라 결과가 달라지는 것 같아서
Even the playoff, I think.
그 예측할 수 없을 것 같아요.
아.
그날 좀 더
I think it really
선수들이
depends on the day how the
오늘
players
좀
feel
컨디션이 좀
Yeah.
and what shape they are in at the day.
저희 팀은 저번 경기에 비해는 덜 좋았던 것 같아요.
At the moment, but
아,
today's match, I don't
어떻게
think we
하면
were as
컨디션이
good
참
as the one
좋았을 것
against
같아요,
Tempest.
팀이?
글쎄요.
그까지는?
네. 그냥 저희 팀이 분위기도 잘 타서
And we
그날
also
분위기 좀
swing by the mood
잘
lots of the
이렇게
time,
힘이
so
나면은
it really depends
더
on
잘
the
되는 것 같아요.
gaming booth
정말 중요한
atmosphere on the day.
예, 이제 미드 시즌 난투 진출. 네, 쉽지 않겠지만
Of course,
가능성은
Mission
충분하다고
Brawl
보는데요.
is your goal.
마이티
It's not going to
선수들은
be easy
어떻습니까?
for sure.
어느 정도 좀 생각을 하고 있나요?
네, MVP 블랙이 너무 잘해가지고
And Black, of course, is so
낮다고
strong.
보고.
네.
근데
Of course, the
열심히
possibility
해서
is very low,
가보려고 하고 노력하고는 있죠.
but we are, of course, trying our best to go to
알겠습니다.
the
오늘 말씀
mid-season brawl.
감사합니다. 다시 한번 승리 진심으로
Look,
축하드리고요.
I'm
자,
a
다음에도
sucker for
더욱 좋은
upsets
모습, 리드 진출
and
화이팅 하시기 바랍니다.
and
자,
defeating
이제
the
오늘 첫 번째 경기
tower, the
결과
tall tower, the titan that is MVP Black. You know, if I were allowed to have an opinion on this, I would say, or allowed to choose the victor, I would say Mighty. I would want them to win. I would want them to go to the mid-season brawl. I feel like they have shown the most promise in this league to be the one to make the upset happen. I don't think it's going to be... I actually give them an even better chance than Tempest to defeat Black. I think they are going to be the team to watch. We'll see if they can defeat Tempest again, because it was a tough, close match last time. Either way, they win the series against BlossoM 3-1. Had some trouble against the double support on Sky Temple. And I hope that's a composition that we see return, because it was so fun to cast and fun to watch. So give that one a shot with your friends in Team League if you've got a 5-man. I definitely don't, unless your opponents watch HGC Korea, they probably aren't going to see it coming. And even if they do watch, they'll be like, oh, you guys are really doing it. You're really doing the double support. Yeah, just copy that draft, put it into your Team League games on Sky Temple, see if it works out.
Try it once more, see how they executed in the game. Try it yourself. I think that's a very good strategy too. But we're not done yet, of course. There's a second series coming up, which should be a lot more hype coming on.
Yeah, and as mentioned, there are no tiebreakers for this HGC